What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
This is Marvin,
Amber,
and Libbys.
and we're with the Family O.
We are talking about, for today's podcast, guys, how we are able to travel on a budget or travel as much as we do. Many of you guys know, if you're following us on Instagram, and if you do not know, we have an Instagram page, and that's where we do most of our moving and shaking on a regular basis. So please, if you're listening to this podcast, take a moment, click the show notes for this podcast, and tune in to our Instagram page at @the_family_o. Let's get started.
All righty. Family film. We are the Family O.
We are the Family O.
Family film. We are the Family O.
We are the Family O. All right, so we are back, and how are you today, my cutie?
I'm wonderful, babe. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Liberty, how about you? How you doing?
Good and happy.
Why are
Good.
you happy?
Because I'm always happy and excited and silly and happy.
All right.
It's going to be back to school for this cutie pie right here. And
I was in kindergarten, but now I'm going to first grade.
yes, we can't believe.
I know. Oh my goodness!
this
Like,
baby.
don't get me crying on this
Yeah.
podcast.
We've done quite a bit of traveling, guys, and we appreciate you again tuning into today's podcast. We're going to talk about how we do as much traveling as we do and how we're able to save money by doing it, because when we travel, the money, thank you, Leb, she's holding up the money if you're watching this on YouTube. We are not travel agents. We are not travel bloggers where, destinations pay us to go to certain places.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Not
That'd be
yet.
dope.
We just love to travel, period. We've been doing it basically since Marvin and I got together. So I would say roughly 2003 is when we got together, but 2002 is when we got together.
Yeah.
2003 is when we just started traveling,
Yeah.
and we've been doing it ever since.
What was our first actual travel destination?
We
Like,
went-
where did we go first? What's it?
San Antonio.
San Antonio,
Yeah,
Texas.
that was. We were very local. We would go to surrounding areas of Houston where we lived at the time.
Yep.
I grew up in Dallas, so we would do Dallas. We would do Austin, San Antonio. I
Yep.
mean, we would just start there. Just little small places in the area, and then we started our first flight together was to New York. So
And it's funny because my babe, and you probably will talk about it, I'm sure. I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
okay.
Your first time flying was when we
Went
got
to New
together.
York. Yeah, it was like 2004 or 5 maybe, or something like that, or 6. I can't remember.
Yeah, and that was I'm sure pretty. I'm sure you're very proud of yourself for getting on the plane and going through it. And so traveling is our thing. That's what we do, guys.
Yeah.
We don't shop. We don't do a lot of shopping at all. Our main thing is travel. That is how we enjoy quality of life. That's how we live.
Exactly. And what's interesting, you guys, is that when we had Liberty, prior to having Liberty, when we got pregnant, people were telling us how, we were not going to be traveling anymore. Having a child or having children was going to slow us down, was going to stop us from the thing that we love so much. And so we were like, we're the type of people where when you tell us something crazy like that, we're like, oh, we got to show you better than we can tell you.
Yeah.
As my mom would always say.
I mean, it was so weird. Like,
Yeah.
I distinctly remember people saying when we found out we were pregnant with Love, get all the traveling you can get in.
I know,
when the
yeah.
baby get here, she gonna be running the show.
The show, yep.
And she still kind of runs the show still, but she just jumped right into
Jump
what we
right
were
in.
doing.
She went with the flow with us.
Yeah.
I think
It's like I jumping.
Yeah, you did.
that's right. We didn't try to change things because we were becoming parents. We just were like, you know what, we're going to adapt. And that's exactly what she did. She felt in so wonderfully. Yeah. Libby took her first trip like at 4 months and her first flight at 6 months, which was to New York as well. Yeah. So, you know, we didn't limit ourselves in that area. So we were just like, okay, we'll show you guys. We'll still be traveling because we were not just traveling for the sake of it. We genuinely have a love for you guys. Yeah. And it's like one of the main things that we enjoy and love doing together.
Yeah. I mean, Lib, how was your first plane experience? I mean,
it was so fun. The takeoff was fun. Yeah. And also, it was so fun when we were landing because I was like, woo!
She does that all the time.
She does that. If you're watching on YouTube, she does that all the time, guys. It don't matter how bumpy, you know, the flight, you know, the pilot does with the landing, and she just will have her hands up. And she's just so silly. We're so proud of her because she's already conquered the fear of flying. So when she gets older and you know, does her own traveling, you know, just on her own, she'll probably be with friends that are probably terrified, and she's just gonna be.
It'll be natural for her. She's been used to it. Yes, she literally thinks it's a roller coaster ride. I laugh every time I've recorded it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So, you know, we're gonna talk about it, like I said, for today's podcast. And again, if you are not a part of our email list, we are going to really be pushing email. That's the way that we're going to talk to you guys on a regular basis because school's about to start and we're about to get super busy. Definitely, so we don't want to lose contact with you guys. So again, 2 things that we want you to do as we're getting it started now. Click the show notes of this podcast or the description box on YouTube and click the first link there to connect with us. There's a link to drop your email. It'll take you 5 seconds. And follow us on Instagram. We need to get our Instagram game up.
Definitely, yes.
We really do.
We've had our Instagram longer than we've had our Facebook or anything. And it's been growing, but I just think that, you know, for a family focused page, we'd like to see a little bit more traction because our YouTube is like doing very well, which has been a huge blessing. So if all nearly 8,000 of you on YouTube could just take a moment, follow us on Instagram, we greatly appreciate it because that's where we do most of our moving and shaking.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so the reason why we decided to do this next podcast as being about travel is because whenever we've been on vacation, this summer we went to several places and we just continue to get people asking, how are you guys able to travel as much as you're able to? So we wanted to go ahead and get started with that. And the main thing that really helped us is that we basically open up ourselves to various ways of being able to travel. So what we mean by that is, for example, we are open to road trips in a car. Now we do have a hourly cutoff. We don't go past a certain hour.
4 hours. That's the most that I can stand.
Exactly. Yes. But we do road trips. In the past we've taken Greyhound as well as Megabus. We've even taken an Amtrak train. All 3 of us. I was actually pregnant with her. Cruising, of course, cruise ships as well as an airplane. So if you're thinking about like, geez, I really want to start traveling, you really want to be open to different ways of traveling. Like, don't get caught up in, oh, I have to, you know, take a plane or I have to go to this fancy place. Just be like, I'm open to traveling wherever, however. So I can just get a new experience.
Yeah, we love to do that.
We do love to do that. So I do want to talk about our least favorite mode of travel out of all of the ones that Babe just named. I think the least favorite for me was the train, Amtrak. We took that to St. Louis, Missouri, the Lou. Like Babe was saying, we were pregnant with Lib. And I was very excited to take an Amtrak. But when we got on that train,
it was a tough ride.
Libby, you weren't even here yet. You was in the stomach. But I'm sure it was a tough ride for you as well in the belly. But the problem that I had with Amtrak, or train specifically, I don't want to single out Amtrak, but they're the only one that I know that does, you know, travel trains. But first of all, the where we stayed as far as the actual living quarters was very tight. I don't necessarily know if we didn't get like a premium tier of living quarters. We got the mid-level. I don't think we went with the cheapest tier. we went with kind of mid-level. Mind you, babe was pregnant. You were how many months?
It was in November. We had Libby in March. So I think I was about maybe 6 months pregnant.
About 6 months.
Somewhere around there, I think.
Okay, so with trains, period, they're very, very tight and noisy, and so babe being pregnant was it was like a bunk kind of situation.
It was. Babe was on top and I was on the bottom.
Top and bottom, and so you were in there. The bed was like, I don't even want to call that a mattress. It was more like, if you guys remember Roots and the quarters where the slaves would sleep, where it was just little pieces of cotton and leaves. It was a little bit better than that. Yeah. And it was not comfortable at all. When it was time to eat, we had to eat with individuals. Well, we had to eat with strangers. So it was kind of like we were assigned seating, but we were assigned with other people at our exact table. So it's like being this close to each other, and then right in front of us, if you're watching us on YouTube, there's another couple sitting right there, complete strangers. We don't know them. It's awkward.
It was super awkward.
And so with that, it was just very, very tight and not very, it was you could kind of force to have a conversation, but it wasn't organic at all because we didn't make friends with these individuals. We were just forced to sit and eat in front of them.
Exactly. And they, honestly, I mean, I think we're pretty friendly people. I mean, we're kind of reserved, but if someone's sitting directly in front of us, we're going to have a conversation with them, and these people were not friendly at all. So they were, I mean, it wasn't that they were mean, it's just that they were not having a conversation with us.
Yeah, they weren't interested in getting to know us. And, that made it very, very weird. So that's why I did not like the train. And then again, it was a little bit better than being on a bus because we were just kind of on there. It was going faster than a bus, of course, but it just wasn't a positive experience. I think the most fun part was if you went to the top of the train and they had like that sky open sunroof part where you could see, the road and the countries and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it was, I was just going to add that we ended up we had beds, and coming back, remember, we ended up staying in the normal chairs where you could lean it back and everything, and we thought that was more comfortable than even being in the bunk bed. So that was one thing, y'all. That was like, it was 2012, and we said that we would not take a train for travel like that again, and y'all, we haven't. Now, the only exception, we do want Liberty to kind of experience that, but not sure when that'll happen.
I don't know.
That'll be years from now.
It'll be years from now. Maybe Liberty, you can go when you have your friends in like spring break or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, then that's that.